Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we have this lovely Audi S5 2017 in for a good clean and a paint correction. As you can see, the Saharan sand has done a number on the car. It's absolutely filthy. We're going to give it a safe clean, ensuring that removal of the sand doesn't damage the paint, and there are also quite a lot of existing swirls that I'm going to polish out and then protect with a ceramic coating. As you can see here in the sun's reflection, there are thousands of tiny cobweb-like scratches all over the car that need to be polished out. As with any paint correction I do, the priority is to preserve the clear coat of the car. So although some scratches may remain, I hope to get between 85 and 90% of the scratches removed. Okay, so to ensure I remove all that sand and grit without digging any of it into the paintwork, I'm going to perform 2 snow foam and rinse cycles. This should get most of the grit and sand off of the car before I begin a contact wash with a mitt. As you can see here, the snow foam has already taken most of the sand and grit off of the car just from one cycle. Now the snow foam has been given some time to soak and loosen any remaining grit, time for a good pressure wash to get everything else off. After foaming and rinsing the paint and the windows twice, now it's time to go onto a contactless wash for the wheels. Next up, it's time to get any remaining dirt off the wheels by attacking them with a few brushes. I'll start with some wheel cleaner to loosen up any remaining dirt as much as possible. As brake dust is often very hot when it comes off the brakes, it can sometimes melt into the clear coat of the wheel and it won't come off just by brushing alone. So here I'm adding some fallout remover to chemically react with anything remaining and get the wheel 100% clean. All the purple you can see here is where the fallout chemical has reacted with the brake dust and removed it from the wheel. Now onto the contact wash for the rest of the car. It's very common for people to use the same mitt to clean the whole car, and they'll get some soapy water, rinse their dirty mitt out in it, and then go return to the car again. By the time you've done that a few times, the soapy water is very dirty and full of grit. So every time you go back to the car, you're just scraping that grit all over your paint, and that is what causes swirls in most cases. My way of avoiding this is I have several mitts that I put into the clean soapy bucket. I clean a section of the car with the first mitt, and then I put it aside, and then I take another clean mitt from the soapy bucket and do the next section of the car. This way, none of the grit that you've taken off the car goes back on it and scratches the paint. As the soapy water in my bucket is still completely clean, I can now use that and a brush to get to all the difficult to reach areas. After another good rinse of the car, I feel that the paint is still quite rough, which means there's embedded contamination in the paint as well. Now the best way to remove this is to use a clay bar, which you can see me doing here. This is gently glided over the paint and it picks out any remaining contaminants in the paint, leaving it lovely and smooth. Along with the clay bar, it's very important to use a clay lubricant. This helps it glide across the paint, remove the contaminants without causing any damage to the paint itself. Now on to the polishing stage. Now Audis, like most German cars, have very hard clear coat. So here I'm using a Eurofiber microfiber pad and a strong polish to get as many of the swirls out as I can. After performing a test patch on the car, I'm happy that I've removed as many of the swirls as I can without causing any damage to the clear coat. Next, to prepare for the ceramic coating, I use an isopropyl alcohol solution to wipe over the car. This removes any last remaining oils left over from the polish or anything else we've done, and make sure the paint is perfectly clean, which will ensure that the ceramic coating can adhere to the paint and last for as long as possible on the car. And now for the best bit, applying the ceramic coating. This will ensure that all the hard work I've put in to making this car look as beautiful as possible will stay that way for anything up to 4 years. Now ceramic coatings are extremely strong and durable, but they don't cure to the car immediately. They take about 2 weeks to fully bond. So I'm going to be applying a spray topper onto the coating to ensure that that is protected while it cures to the car. The great thing about the coating I've used on this car is it can be safely applied outside with no problems. All ceramic coatings have different application methods, so if you do this on your own car, please be sure to closely follow the instructions. It is absolutely vital that you take great care in buffing off the carrier for the ceramic coating a minute or two after it's been applied, again depending on the instructions for the brand. If you leave this too long, it will harden on the car like super glue. It will look very unsightly, you'll have lumps and bumps everywhere, so this part of the process is very important. And here it is, the finished product. After about 8 hours of hard work, I think it's looking very nice. I apologise for filming this part in portrait. I was quite tired by this time, wasn't thinking straight, but hopefully you can still see how well it came out. And you can be damn sure I was keeping a close eye on those magpies you can hear in the background, just to make sure they didn't drop any bird bombs on my lovely ceramic coating. Originally I was hoping to coat the wheels with a dedicated alloy ceramic coating. I just didn't have time, but I'll probably get the customer back and get that done ASAP. Here's a nice shot of the paint under an inspection light, just so you can see those swirls are all gone. As long as it's maintained well, this car should stay looking like this for a good few years. That's it from me guys, see you on the next one.